Hi, I'm Casey. I talk about stuff. Thanks for being here. This is kind of a random one. I didn't really have it planned. I didn't script it out or study it really. I was listening to the Aubrey Marcus podcast last night, and his guest was Peter Crone. This is an old episode. It's the third time he was on. All of the episodes with Peter Crone are really good. I highly recommend them. This was the third one. And at some point, Peter Crone said, being right is the poor man's version of self-worth or self-value or something like that. And I was like, ooh, I like that, because it's true. A friend of mine a couple of years ago was talking about right fighting, and maybe she was talking about it with her mom or her husband, I'm not really sure, but she realized at some point, she was just continuing the argument because she wanted to be right about it, and it wasn't because she was actually right, or that she even really had more of a vested interest in the resolution of the argument or the discussion. It was just that she wanted to be right and continue to promote this point or this idea. Moving on, in this episode with Aubrey Marcus and Peter Crone, he went on to say, why do people sort of right fight? And the way he explained it, I was like, oh, I have to share this. And I don't know if it's going to be way over anyone's head, or if this is super advanced, or if I'm just the one who's, finding this fascinating. But you kind of first have to understand that we see ourselves as our personalities, and our personalities are actually like a living entity. They have kind of a mind of their own, and that's what we mean by ego. And so when you have this ego who is in here kind of puppeting you, like I said in my last video, I was talking about meditation, you have this ego who's here pretending to be you, masquerading as you, while you are actually underneath, and you're the soul and everything. And so the ego and the personality and the identity are the things, it's like the compilation of all of the things with which we identify. So it's going to be the things that you like, the things that you desire, the things that you don't want, your opinions. It's all about attachments and aversions. And none of those things are permanent. None of those things are solid. You can change your opinion about someone or something at any given moment, just when the information changes or when your mood changes. And so it's not who you are, it's just who you are maybe in that moment. And who you are in that moment, right now, if we're just talking about this opinion, it's still not you. It's an aspect of your personality, and your personality is not who you are. It's maybe a little bit too deep to get into, but it's at least a nice little introduction. And the reason that we right fight, the reason that we hang on to our opinions and try to make other people understand, or to see that we're right and they're wrong, is because it's when you are wrong and when you admit you're wrong, it's a kind of death. It's like a death of the ego. Of course, it's not the whole thing that dies, but it's this one little piece of you that you identified with, that you knew to be true, that you held on to as a foothold for your reality, for where this identity could stand, and it's not there anymore. It's not there anymore. It dies. It can no longer grow. And so it's a part of you that dies, and that's why we hold on to it. And I thought that was really interesting as an idea. Anyway, something to meditate on, something to think about. I didn't really have much planned. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to share this idea. I thought it was really interesting. I already really am super into the idea of we are not our identities, we're not our personalities, we're not our egos, we're something that's much more profound than that, and we've been putting on all of these layers of personalities, or filters, or you can look at it many different ways, but it's all of these things are not actually who we are. And being right and admitting you're wrong, somehow having the question of death in there, you don't think, it's not a tiger is chasing me and I'm gonna die kind of death, but there's this other part of you that knows that it no longer has power and it can no longer control and grow, and that is what dies. So anyway, that's it. As always, thank you so much for your time, attention, love, and support, and let me know what you think of this. Is it totally harebrained? Do you totally agree? Do you understand what I mean by the idea of our identities and personalities and egos not really being who we are? And yeah, let me know. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Bisous.